This week, the Motorhead crew learn how to upgrade a motorcycle using a laser, how to get incredible stereo sound while still keeping your vehicle's vintage looks, and how to haul your car and everything else with tie-down straps you'll actually love to use. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, if you have a motorcycle like this beauty here, maybe you're a motorcycle builder or something like that, you know that having a bike is all about freedom, but it's also about making it your own, and that's through customization. Now, Tony, AP Laser, how can you help me customize my motorcycle?
Dave, we can personalize it. You can personalize it with an AP Laser. You can take any kind of image, as long as you make it digital, you can actually lay it on any kind of product.
And talk about any kind of product. There's tons of materials on a motorcycle. So of the materials we see on the bike, what can AP Laser etch and cut?
We can do leather, we can do metal, acrylics like the windscreen. You can even do your jackets, even get into wood, stone items even. Obviously they won't be on a bike, but it's pretty much limitless as far as what you can engrave.
And what's it like transitioning from material to material? How easy is that to do?
It's just a matter of just changing the speed and power settings, which our technicians can help you.
Let's get specific about this bike. We see on the windscreen there, it came in as a plain Jane, and it looked great.
Yep.
But the owner of the motorcycle wanted to upgrade a little bit.
Yeah, he wanted to personalize it.
Yeah.
He's really big into bluegrass and country music, and so we took some of those aspects and we're going to incorporate them with the bike. Also, had a rough patch in their life, and so there's like kind of a broken road theme that they're going with on the bike, and you'll see some of those kind of elements as we push along on this design.
So effectively, what you've done there is taken just a regular object and made it into something really personal and really special. Yeah. So if you're a builder or a business owner, there's an opportunity right there to give somebody a regular object, but to make it special.
Yeah, so you can take something intangible, like an emotion or a feeling or just a memory, and actually put it on a tangible item, something that they can keep with them all the time.
And here again, just a regular gas cap, and we've made it into something special. What kind of reaction do you get from folks that see just an ordinary object, but you've personalized and made it special?
It brings nothing but joy, and it actually means more to them after that. Just like this personalization we're doing here. It's just a regular, Heritage Softail, yeah. And now it actually is something that he's gonna keep forever.
And it's a bike he's had for a long time, but now it's gonna become special because of the relationship that he has.
Yeah, he was thinking about selling it, but now that we're personalizing it, it's not going anywhere.
And the saddlebag here is another great example of another material. We're taking the leather. This was on the laser for all of 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
And now it went from just a bag we paid a few bucks for to something that's priceless. AP Laser is able to do that. What do you tell people that are opening businesses and they want to use the AP Laser as part of their business? So
you can take your everyday items, just like these right here, and you're going to add that personal touch, whether it's in memory or emotion or an event. You know, every dad's a father, you know, every mother's got kids, you know, all those different things. You know, you can take any kind of image or any kind of graphic, any kind of logo, any kind of text, and lay it on any product. And it's permanent too. It's not gonna go away. It's not like we print it on and it's gonna buff off after a couple of washes.
Tony, there's a lot of other laser brands out there. Why should someone pick AP Laser?
That's a great question, Dave. It's because we have a patented open architecture where you can fit any size product in the machine. You're not going to be limited to what size box. So even like this full exhaust system here, it'll fit right in the AP Laser with no problem.
We're going to dive a little deeper into AP Laser and what makes it tick a little later on in the show. Until then, a whole lot more to come, so stay tuned to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Just take a look at the lines on this 1949 Ford. This is owned by a friend of the show named Ron Harkleroad. He's building this car for his wife, Susie. In fact, the car is called Susie Q. In 1949, what an amazing era for the automobile. This thing is incredible. And talk about the music in 1949. Bing Crosby and Doris Day lighting up the charts, but look how you had to listen to it. One little speaker on the dash was all you had, and you're listening to it on AM radio in the first place which, let's face it, that sounded lousy. Now, Ron has a few different options in regards to the stereo here as he builds this car. First, he can buy some aftermarket stereo that sounds great, but it won't look the part because it's going to stick out like a sore thumb on this vintage dash. You can try to find an original radio, and good luck finding one that works or one you can even afford. Or you can do the right thing, and it's the simple thing. You can opt for a stereo system from Custom Auto Sound. Ron's going to get a modern stereo that sounds great and looks just like a vintage analog radio from 1949. But this isn't just about looks and sound, it's about convenience. With Custom Auto Sound, you get Bluetooth, you can connect your MP3 player or your CD player, even your satellite radio, and no one will ever be able to tell by looking. Now, this particular unit is the USA 740, and of course it has Bluetooth capabilities, and it has 300 watt peak power, which should be all the juice you need. You can choose from several different colors and find the one that matches your vehicle's instrument cluster. It looks like an old analog display, but when you switch it on, it becomes an easy to read digital display. Really cool. Custom Auto Sound's not some fly-by-night operation. You don't have to worry. They've been around for nearly 50 years, and these are durable, high-quality units that are made to last. First of all, Custom Auto Sound's radios and speakers are made at the same factories that make some of the world's finest audio equipment. And every Custom Auto Sound model undergoes extreme temperature testing, a temperature aging test, and the super important vibration test, because after all, you're probably putting it in a hot rod with something mean under the hood, so you're going to need all that protection to make sure your radio survives all that kind of abuse. Before it leaves the factory, every Custom Auto Sound radio is hand inspected and adjusted by a technician. Now, Custom Auto Sound covers a huge array of vehicles, 400 plus applications in fact. They have an amazing variety of radios and speakers made to fit your budget and made to fit your vehicle specifically. There's 4 different models of in-dash radios, including the slide bar radio. And with the slide bar radio, just like the USA 740, you get a radio that looks just like an old analog radio when it's turned off. And when you slide the bar, you get a digital display that enables you to control every function of your radio. If you have a street rod or a classic and you want to leave the original radio in the dash, well then, the secret audio radio is for you. The unit hides usually under the seat or behind the dashboard. You get your Bluetooth, AM/FM radio, iPod control, CD control, and it integrates perfectly with your speaker system. And I mentioned speakers already. Well, from door-mounted speakers to kick panel speakers to universal speakers and subwoofers, even speakers that secretly hide away themselves, Custom Auto Sound has you covered. Everything from Custom Auto Sound is made to last, and of course, it's made to sound great. Most important, it does all that while looking just like it came as original equipment on your classic vehicle when it was brand new. Custom Auto Sound makes installation incredibly easy too. Everything on the back is labeled, clearly labeled, not just colors that you got to figure out. It specifically names each wire and tells you where to connect it. And there's 2 harnesses, one for power and one for all your accessories. You plug both of those into the back of the unit. They snap into place. It's as simple as that. We've cleared some of the wires out of there. Just put a couple washers on the front. And we also adjusted it to make sure it was the right depth in the dash as well. And once we did that, placing the washers on, we snuck the unit up behind with the washers there, put another couple of washers on to make sure the spacing was correct, tightened some nuts down to hold the thing on there, and then once I did that, I was able to use a socket to hand tighten it, and that's all the tighter you really need to make this thing. And once you run that down, the last thing to do was the knobs, and those look amazing. They look like the original chrome that came on the vehicles, and chrome is what made these classic vehicles back in the old days. And of course, that front plate really finishes the look on the dash of this 1949 Ford. Once again, over 400 applications if you go to the Custom Auto Sound website at customautosoundmfg.com. They have the radio for you, whether you're building a street rod or restoring a classic like this. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com when we come back, so stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, earlier we told you about AP Laser and how it can take something that's a standard motorcycle windshield, for instance, and make it something personal, create something priceless out of a regular object. And just take a look at this saddle seat from a motorcycle. And this is nice leather. It's a beautiful piece, but look at that. With an AP Laser, in just a few minutes, you can take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. Now, Aaron, with AP Laser, how do you go from something, like leather, and then go to chrome and go to all these different metals and switch back and forth between materials?
Well, really, it's as simple as just changing some speed and power settings. So when we run the laser, then we're setting the power based on a percentage of the wattage of the tube, and then the speed kind of controls the effectiveness and the time that it takes to do the material. So
that sounds complicated. When I buy an AP laser, I'm not a computer or a laser expert, so how can you help me once I get my new AP laser?
that's a great question. What we've done with the AP laser product is we've actually made it a community, a family. So from start to finish, so once you start working with our sales staff, you are essentially brought into the family. Most of our customers start on our Facebook Before You Buy group to start doing some research on their own and getting feedback from existing owners. But then once you complete the sale from start to finish, we're in constant contact through the financing process and up to delivery. And then once you get the machine out to you, we're communicating for training. We have training that we do virtually that handles all your needs, but then we also have resources such as our AP Laser University and our user guide that has all this information, but also continued support. We have unprecedented lifetime 24/7 technical support. So for as long as you own this machine, if you call at 2 a.m. because you're stuck on something, somebody's gonna be there to take your call. And our tech support isn't just, oh, your machine's broken, how can we fix it? It's also, hey, I'm stuck on this material, I don't know what to do. And our tech support, finest in the world, is gonna help you step by step through setting up that material and testing if we have to. In the manual, there's also a lot of different speed and power settings that you can just get a snapshot for a baseline, like, oh, I'm doing acrylic, what do I do here? And you find it on the chart, plug in those speed and power settings, and there you go, you're off and running. It's very simple. We make sure everything's ready to go for you.
And that starts, like you said, right from the Before You Buy group on Facebook?
Yes.
What kind of information are people sharing on there?
Well, on the Before You Buy group, it's similar to our user group. Once you become an owner, then you get into the user group, which is another animal. But on the Before You Buy group, they're getting experiences from our owners and users, both good and bad. So some people will post questions, hey, how'd you feel about this? And some people will share their poor experiences. But that's also an outlet that we use to help rectify and fix those situations and help those customers to be successful. But those all turn into success stories. And our goal is to make sure that every family member that we have in the AP Laser family is successful, because we're only as successful as our family and our customers.
A lot of people say their businesses are a family and their customers are part of the family. But I've seen AP Laser really embody that. And see, how much do you see, like I have, folks becoming friends through the Facebook websites and all the different chat groups and things like that, and all the different customers of AP Laser getting to know each other?
Well, that's interesting that you asked that, because not too long ago we had our laser, we call it LaserCon. It's basically a seminar just for AP Laser users and prospective customers. We had a couple meet, they're getting married. They're getting married this year. So really, when we come together, it really is a family coming together and everybody helping each other out. Nobody's competing against each other. Everybody's helping and sharing and trying to make everybody as successful and lift up the community as much as it can. So.
And maybe find love.
Yes.
So AP Laser, also, you guys are doing a lot with social media. You've got a lot of support through YouTube as well.
Yes, we have some of you may recognize me. I do a lot of our AP Laser workshops with Alicia. Well, you can find us on our YouTube channel, not just our workshops for AP Laser, but we have other instructional videos as well. That's at AP Laser Machine on YouTube, or you can just search us for AP Laser, Laser with a Z on YouTube, and you'll find us. We also have social media. I mentioned the Before You Buy group. We have AP Laser User Group, which is a great resource for all of our users. If you go on there with a problem, within 5 minutes, you're going to get 100 answers from the community, and that's before you even call tech support. If you're not comfortable getting the help there, you call our 24/7 tech support, and you're getting the help there. We're also on all the other popular social media platforms, even the unpopular ones. You'll find us on there. And look us up, because we also have some channels in Spanish as well.
So AP Laser is only limited by your imagination, and with the tech support, it's as simple as can be. Find them at aplaser.com. And find more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com and more great products when we come back.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics, and by AG Products. Be the king of clean.
Well, drop the remote. You found the right show. This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. You know, Nicholas Otto invented the 4-stroke cycle engine back in 1875, man. That's a long time ago, and it's still around today. And let's talk about the 4-stroke cycle. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. When it comes to the 4-stroke cycle, well, there it is. You can see the piston's on its way down. That's stroke number 1, called the intake stroke. The intake valve's open, and the air-fuel mixture is being drawn into the cylinder. Then it's on its way up. Well, that's the compression stroke. It's squeezing that fuel. It's getting ready to combust. Once it combusts, well, that's the power stroke. You see the third one over there? That's when it actually happens. Bang, pushes that piston down. The piston's moving down. And then the last stroke, it's on its way back up. And it's on its way back up. That exhaust valve has to open. And when that opens, all the exhaust comes out of there. Now, along with that 4-stroke cycle, you have some wear issues that are going on. You see the first graphic right there? We're talking about 4,500 degrees inside of that cylinder. 1,500 going to the outside coolant jackets, and even more important, the ring wear. You can see that on the cylinder going up and down from the lower to the top there. You got a lot of ring wear and you could create a ridge. Len from AMSOIL, buddy, this is a lot going on here. We have some rings, compression rings, but this oil ring right here, this is supposed to scrape the cylinder and keep the oil from going up there. And if it's doing its job, well, you're not getting much lubrication, are you?
That's exactly. The piston rings, as we all know, are about sealing. And that oil ring is about scraping away any oil so you're not burning it and putting it through the catalyst system and into the atmosphere. So if it's doing its job, it gets dry up there and wear can happen. So one of the good ways to bring in some lubrication is in the fuel. And you can do that with a fuel additive. AMSOIL upper cylinder lubricant is designed just for that. So we're going to bring it in the injector. And some of the chemistry that we're using in this particular additive is designed to hold up to some of those extremely high temperatures that you mentioned earlier about combustion. So they're going to stay around and they're not going to burn off. They're going to help reduce some of that wear that you can see inside of these engines.
Now, I can't see it as a customer, but it's a good idea to put it in there because of the longevity of keeping my vehicle.
Correct. People are keeping their cars longer. You're seeing more miles being put on these vehicles before they're traded or sold off. So you need to maintain it because at the end of the day, you're maintaining performance, you're maintaining fuel economy.
Well, that's huge. Go to their website, AMSOIL.com. Check out this product and so many more.
This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Chances are, if you're watching this show, you've probably hauled something, maybe a very nice classic car, something that means a lot to you, something that costs a lot, and you don't want that going anywhere. You can't settle for any ratchet strap that you just find at the big box store. You're going to want something from Max Custom Tie Downs because the quality is unbelievable. I had a chance to check these out, and it all starts with the ratchet here, Trent.
It does.
Yeah, tell me about some of the features here that make these special.
Well, our ratchets are unique to the industry. We have a one-piece handle, which makes ours 40% stronger. And then when you go into the neutral position with it, after you unhook your car, the mandrel goes into a freewheel mode. So
Fantastic.
you don't get it all stuck and you're trying to yank it and kick it and getting frustrated.
Which I do every single time with the regular ratchet strap.
Exactly. One of the other features that we have is that we have our patented dust cap on this. It keeps out the sand and the dirt and keeps the longevity of them in play.
And one thing I noticed is the edges are not sharp like a lot of other cheap ratchet straps I see out there.
Absolutely. You know, as soon as you pick up one of the ratchets, you know you've got a hold of something else that you've never felt before.
Very cool. Now, you sell your tie downs in kits, so you're selling packages here.
We do. Here at Max, we offer 2 variations of our straps, and then everything else is built off of that. So the first one that I have here is what we call our Super Pack. And as you notice, it has the axle strap that's integrated into it. Less moving parts. That way, when you loan them to your friends, everything will come back.
Everything comes back.
Exactly. But
Perfect.
we don't want that. So it's an adjustable hoop, so you can make it as big as you want, or you can make it as little as you want. That's customer's choice. The second one that we have is called our Ultra, and basically it's an 8-foot, 10,000-pound strap, same as this one. It just has 2 hooks on it, and then what we do is we do a detachable axle strap with that. And then all of our strap kits come with the tie backs, and everything comes in the canvas carry bag.
Fantastic. I noticed a few accessories here. You've got the fleece, and I assume this is for something, maybe something chromed or something like that?
It is. If you have a hot rod that's got a powder coated or a painted rear end or control arms in it, or if you have something that's chromed or nickel plated, we offer a Velcro fleece that can go around this. And then that way you can take it off, you can launder it, it'll protect whatever you have. And we also offer an axle strap. Our standard is 24-inch, and we do a standard 36, 40, and 44 as well.
All right, Trent, let's head on back here to the trailer now. Before you ride in, I want to mention that these tracks should be bolted down to the trailer. We've actually just put them on a backing plate because this isn't our trailer, but you get the idea. Anyway, this is called your tire block system, Trent, and it is like nothing I've ever seen. How does it work?
All right, yeah, this is the third setup that we wanted to talk to you about today, and this is our tire block setup. This is great for a guy that has multiple vehicles with different size tires and wheels on them. He doesn't want to climb under the vehicle, or it's a vehicle that's super low and you can't get underneath it. So it has a pickup point here, it has tire blocks, it has a bolted nipple on it that fits down in the tire tread, and then it has an idler that goes back to the ratchet. What's nice about this is if you have a really low car with a spoiler or a splitter, this gets everything out from in front of it, so you don't have to try to figure out how to tie your car down.
Full-time racers, weekend warriors, you're going to love these. These are from Max Custom Tie Downs. You can find them at maxcustomtiedowns.com. Well, we are strapped for time, but don't worry, we're going to do it once again next week. We hope you join us then. In the meantime, if you have a product you want to see here on the show, email me, Dave@MotorheadGarage.tv. We'll get you here in the studio or in the parking lot, as seen here. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, we'll see you next time. Drive safely.